program is brought to you by FanDuel, where we give sports fans the chance to win every day.
Yo, the Sunday show is live here at Propels Talk. Special shout out to everybody here, man, that's spending their time here with us, man. We weren't live, didn't go live for the Houston game, but happy to have you guys here. Let's get into it.
First took away. That's the best. Get your money's worth now.
Want to give a special shout out here to all the people that support us here, man. John Deere, Sunshine, FanDuel, Theos, of course, and as always, Scott Vigner. You know what they do. You know they fight for the win. Got my dogs here with me. 5. We got Grub. We got Lito. First off, fellas, how y'all doing?
It's all good. Happy to be here.
It's a case of the Sundays in here, dog. Go ahead.
My bad. What's up, man? I have a question before we start off. If anybody in the chat can answer me. Lito's name is a certain. What did Pimp C do to his baby mama's brother? Or what happened between them?
That's real.
What did he purchase? If you can answer that, it'd be great.
I don't know why Mike looking like this, but yo, man. So let's see here. I guess I want to start here. The title of the show was where is it here? If the Pelicans were sending a message to the rest of the league here, or if they have, if that's even possible here down the stretch with some of the games that they have. I believe that they're on their best stretch of the season right now, 6-4, I think, last 10. Good job, Lee. Good job. And you know what? And then I want to know after he did that, I want to know like what comes after that. There's a bar. Yeah. Shout out to Pimp. So I'll start with Grub. Grub, you had a show post Raptors game. And you spoke about kind of like, the balance in witnessing what the Pelicans are doing right now, from, the excitement of them just winning games, of them playing competitive basketball, of them being in games, even in games that they're losing, they're competitive games that are coming down to the, to the end on the road, right, against Houston. And we'll talk about that at some point. And then it was the Phoenix game. And if they're not in a game late, they're winning the games as of late. They're healthy, the healthiest that they've ever been, fingers crossed. DeJounte's back playing basketball. Trey Murphy's back. Like, certain guys are back in the roles that they maybe envisioned when they got to New Orleans, minus Jordan Poole. But for those that missed the show, give a little insight to your thoughts about where the Pelicans are right now and how, what's a balanced way to observe what you're watching right now as the team's playing pretty good.
And I think the things that you want to see, by and large, you've seen. They play with a greater purpose, cohesion. The numbers reflect that offensively. They have gotten better shots. They are a more efficient offensive team. You have 4 players who are playing very well offensively. Zion has been efficient. Trey has been very good for the most part. Sadiq has had a career year. And now Dejounte is, by and large, posting career high numbers in this short sample that you have of him. The defense has gotten better as the year has gone on. All those things are good. The disparity comes in when you look at the level of competition. When you're 6-34 against winning teams, and you're 16-12 against losing teams, it tells you you're a lot closer to being a mediocre team than to being a good team. And, things would be a little bit different if this team was healthy, but I think what we're about to find out is really the measuring stick. Because over these next 8 games, Dallas is the only losing team you're playing. Everybody else is a legitimate playoff team, whether you're talking about 2 against the Clippers, you're talking about, you got Houston again at the end of this, but you got Detroit, the Knicks, Toronto, Cleveland, all in that. And 4 of those are on the road. Now is when we're really going to find out. This is a healthy Pelicans team going up against 7 playoff teams. Now is when we'll really find out Are we correct about the pieces that are missing? Are we correct about what James Borrego has brought to the table? Like, this is the gauntlet. They've had all the time to prepare now. They've had what I would consider their training camp. This is the season, these next 7, 8 games. Because if you're going to get to 31, 32 wins, if that's where you want to be and say that we had a successful second half of the year and we were competitive and we have something to build towards, now you're going to find out, because these teams, they aren't teams that are secure in their seedings either. It's not winning teams that can rest everybody each night. They are still teams that need wins. So I think that this is the measuring stick for the Pelicans. We know that they are still a flawed team, but now the flaws will really get exposed, and we'll see where the cracks are, and we'll see where the strengths are. That stuff will rise during these next couple of weeks.
Well said, Grub. 5. If you were a player on that team or you were part of an organization right now, you're in a weird spot right now to where, barring a miracle that we've maybe never seen, this team is going to miss the play-in and said playoffs, right? But they could end the season playing their best stretch of basketball, and there has been a lot of positives over, let's say, the past month and some change. And maybe even before then, there was some things that were bubbling. They just weren't getting wins out of it. With so much can change in the offseason, right? Between players, between young guys, injuries, whatever the case may be. Even in this case, it could be coach, for example. We don't know if James Borrego will be the coach for this team next year. And there's other question marks from Jordan Poole, even maybe still, Dejounte Murray or other players that this team may have to kind of sacrifice to get shooting, or maybe another established big, whatever the case may be. What's the balance to like trying to play the best basketball that you can right now and putting together some good momentum towards next year, but you have such a long layoff and so many different things that can change between now and the next time that we see this team on the floor?
I think they've been battling that question all year, right? Like, do you mail it in? You could have said this in December. Do you just mail it in and allow the young guys to play and kind of focus on next year, in which essentially that you let the young guys play? And now you're asking that same question with a fairly healthy roster, like, hopefully, knock on wood, that they stay healthy. So I think you just got to play the cards as they are, right? Like, just hoop these next, how many games left? Give or take 20-ish. No, less than that.
I think it's like 14, 15, something like that.
Say 15 some odd games left. Like, play those like they're your last, because they are your last, right? Barring something crazy happening, you can make the play in. But to be honest, you didn't earn a right to play playoff basketball. Let's not fool ourselves. Like, we know who you were in the first half of the season. Great that you kind of cleaned it up, but that doesn't mean your house is totally clean. Like, no, you might have cleaned up the front room, but the back room still got some shit needs to be done. So I say you play these last 15 games as best as you can, and the front office, from everybody, needs to be evaluated from that standpoint and how well you do. I always thought, like, if Borrego could and team could like upset some or beat some teams that they weren't supposed to beat, I think that would like bode well for him, like potentially going into next season, because I still think they can build off it. But closing out this chapter, it can mean something for them than just getting into the play. Like, I think closing this chapter correctly would help them a lot.
Lito, what do you think James Borrego is making a good case right now to at least have another year, another shot at a full season, a full off season? Not what you think will happen. Do you believe that he's earning that, or at this point has earned that? Or what more would you need to see if you were in charge? You're muted.
My fault. It's off to a great start.
Yeah.
I I think from their perspective that he probably has done enough. Let me take that back. I don't know. Like, I don't know because I'm saying that, and then I look at how Joe Dumars was hired, and then I'm like, I don't know if there's a person waiting in the wings who they either are just waiting to get fired and or has been fired and he already has a job on a handshake deal. Like, you don't know how the Pelicans operate for real. Like, it's kind of difficult to answer that question. Like, this organization moves like it's the mafia in like 92. You know, like everything is a under the table type situation. In my personal opinion, I think, you know, it's unfortunate if you look at what Borrego has done. Some of it has been questionable lineup wise, some set wise, but my argument to that is like look what he has to work with. Even prior to Dejounte coming back, like who the fuck is on this team that was good enough to actually play meaningful hoop? Like, you had to play rookies. If you look at the transition from pace, points in the paint, shit, even defense, like that graphic I sent you earlier, me and you was talking about, I think they like fifth in blocks, which is crazy. A crazy idea about the Pelicans being fifth in blocks in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? So I would say stylistically, fourth in blocks. I think stylistically, he's made it more fun to watch. I think, if you're gonna lose, dog, like you can't be bad and boring. And a lot of that was Willie Green. A lot of like just unnecessarily boring basketball. So I think Borrego kind of got a case for that. I really do. I mean, I don't know what else the Pelicans would want to see from it. Again, roster wise, shit, man. Like, Chris, you could probably get out there and get more rebounds than the centers we got.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So, Grub, do you perception would say, regardless how this season is, if the Pelicans do well, they're 500 to end, these last stretch, the last 15, well, maybe 500, but or if they're bad, if the Pelicans bring back Borrego, the perception regardless would probably be it being cheap, taking a safe route, taking an easy route, same old, not changing culture. Whether or not that's the truth, those are some of the things on the negative side that we'll hear. On the positive side, it could be, look at some of the numbers that point, since James has kind of fully gotten his feet under him, outside of that horrific start, taking over originally from Willie Green. Look at some of the deeper numbers, look at some of the analytics, and look at what this team is doing or may be able to do consistently when healthy. You might actually have something there. How do you view James Borrego going forward and what this team should do? Should they be more aggressive and going and get an even more established name if they can find a way? Or do they maybe have something here that they should try to stay with a little bit longer to see if there's something that can really come good from it with Borrego?
Borrego's made the case that, considering where the Pelicans are, again, I think everything is, you have to be broad in your assessment. And look, where are you positioned in the Western Conference? Is it time to go all in? You're not ready to go all in. To me, I think if I'm looking at this from the front office, to me, I can't speak for Joe Dumars and Troy Weaver, but I know I'm 2 years away easily when I look at what Oklahoma City and San Antonio alone have going. And Jokic has not fallen off the cliff yet. So I know I got 3 teams that I am not prepared to beat in 7-game series. And I probably ain't ready to beat Minnesota either in 7. So if that's the case, what am I trying to accomplish over the next 2 years? And what has James Borrego accomplished? So, like, the Pelicans are top 3 in the NBA in shot quality since he took over. right? So that's important. As you said, the pace is up. The defense is better. The offense is top 15, has been top 10 at times when they can't shoot, when they cannot shoot. No team in the league is in the top 15 in offense during this time, making fewer and shooting a worse percentage of three than the Pelicans. So what he is doing offensively, he should not be able to do. They should not be as efficient as they are shooting as poorly as they do from outside. If you take the simple part of taking Jordan Poole out and putting CJ McCollum back in to this equation, the consistency of CJ McCollum, you take a CJ down to 17 points a night, still shooting 37 to 40% from three. And what is Borrego doing then with this roster? You still have the flaws that you can't defend the interior. You're not great defensively at the point of attack, and you are too small overall. But you're looking at a team that maybe has 5 or 6 more wins just on that. And what are you talking about going into this stretch? So I think, to me, let me see what I can do just again. Because I know by and large, the Pelicans are bringing this roster back. I know that's what's happening. 9 of these guys are going to be here. 10 maybe are going to be back next year. So if that's the case, while I'm still because I still got another year on this Dejounte Murray thing I got to figure out if he's coming back. I still got to figure out next year if I'm going to start putting in an extension for Zion Williamson. All these things I have to figure out, and they are not certain. So if they're not certain, why am I investing in a coach who's going to want to come in? Either I'm going to a coach with less experience. Everybody's like, oh, go get Chris Paul. Chris Paul will have no sway in the organization. No sway. So you're giving an inexperienced coach a substandard roster and expecting him to make a miracle. Or you're saying go get Mike Malone or some of these other experienced coaches who are going to demand power with the front office and say, I've won. You haven't. The Pelicans have nothing, and you want me to come in and you're not going to let me pick some of the roster? So if that's the case, until I have some more clarity, I think Borrego, yes, it's the safest. It's not a sexy choice. It doesn't win any headlines. But I think going into next year, it gives you the best chance to continue progress.
115 people here live, man. We appreciate y'all ending y'all Sunday here with us, man. If you haven't already, hit the like button. I don't know where the likes are at, but given the trajectory that some of the previous shows, I mean, 200 people and 40 likes. Come on, y'all. Just hit the like button now, man. And then you don't have to do it later. We don't have to keep having the same conversation. But 5, similar question, man. I mean, what to do going forward? I was unaware. I knew that the Pelicans had creeped up or had been playing better offensive ball statistically, and even a lot of the deeper numbers. But I guess I hadn't thought about the shooting element, how difficult in this era it has to be for you to be, even average in this league, with being top 15 in offensive efficiency in any sorts, with only having a couple of shooters depending on the night. Speaks well to either some of the talent or it speaks well to some of the things that James has been able to do. What are your thoughts? What would you do? What should they do at that spot?
As Grubb was kind of talking, like the first thing that truly popped up in my mind was like, when you think about coaches around the league, if you're thinking about getting someone else, like who would want this job? Like, right, that's the question that pops up in my head. I'm like, well, your top level head coaches aren't going to be like, yeah, I'm going to New Orleans. It sounds great. Like, front office is in disarray, ownership, city, star player. A lot of those factors kind of go into. Also, you don't have a draft pick. Like, there's a multitude of different things that compile into this answer, and you're like, well, it's probably best to stay with what I have, because at least with the numbers are dictating, right? Like, it is trending, upward. Like, they are getting better as they play alongside. Like, people going to point to the Houston game, right? I think winning is really hard in the NBA. Truly, like, you have to learn, especially like in late game situations. Like, you have to learn how to win. Like, you're not just gonna beat a Houston team with the Kevin Durant because your team is healthy. It doesn't work like that. If you haven't played with people on your team in moments like that consistently, you're going to have a hard time winning those games, right? And people blame, why you put Zion taking the ball out? Zion's an NBA player. You can't have him pass the ball. I don't see how that's a trouble. But I'm kind of segueing off the point, but I'm saying this is why you give James another shot at it, right? Like to allow them to learn from their mistakes, because it seems like they kind of have. They've shown instances where they've gotten better at certain, particular points of basketball as he's continued to be a coach. Yes, he's had some blunders. Cool with that. Has he tried to fix those blunders? Has he tried to do things a little differently? And I think he has, right? What other coach would have sat Jordan Poole? Who would have had the nuts to do it? And been like, nah, I'm not playing him. And double down on it. Oh, Jordan Poole had a good stretch. Dejounte Murray came back. Damn it, you haven't seen him since. Like, who would have done it? Isn't he getting paid like $30 million or something like that? You got $30 million on the bench that's healthy? And people okay with it? Not okay with it, but like, all right, I'll take that L. Hey man, listen, I know it ain't sexy, but I at least I can understand like the premise behind it. And I'm cool with rocking with that for another year.
Lito,
Hey,
go ahead.
I was about to say before you ask your question, I just wanted to add on to what Grub and Five said. And shout out to my dog Terry Kimball. He had an article that he published
Terry
yesterday. And I mean, essentially he said in his article what, like I said, what Grub and Five and myself had kind of previously said, but just to put some numbers behind it, over the last 15 games, they're top 7 in scoring, field goal percentage, pace, 3-point percentage, and assist to turnover ratio. And like Grub said, they have nobody that can shoot. Like, they have nobody that can shoot. That's kind of, I ain't gonna lie, man. When you think about it in those kind of terms, like, shit, man, like, that's kind of mind-boggling.
Doing more with less. I think, and honestly, man, that's the way you should look at anything. It's like, damn what I don't have. Damn what my weaknesses are. What kind of strengths can I find? What can I do with the resources that I do have to make the best of a situation? And that was actually leading to my next question, Lito, because one of the other things that Borrego is leading to as of late, and we talked a lot about, is the starting lineup. This lineup of Herb, Trey, Zion, Murray, and Sadiq. Questions about at what point will they run into a team where they just get destroyed, because it's going to have some flaws defensively. It's going to have flaws rebounding as well. But so far, small sample size, that grouping has been pretty good together. What do you think about that pairing? Do you think that group can possibly be your starting lineup for a longer period of time to start and open a season? Or do you think it's just something that Borrego's trying right now based off of the personnel he has?
You saying the starting lineup that he has right now? Do I think that, like, moving forward?
Mm-hmm.
I think you need a center. Like, I think you need a center. I also think that if you including Herb in that number, then no. I think you might need to take 2 people out of that lineup, and then depending on who the addition is, possibly. But I'll say this. I mean, for what it's worth, DeAndre Jordan can't shoot, Herb can't shoot, and you know what I'm saying. Like, Borrego has somewhat made that a positive lineup. I think they were like a plus 18 or some shit like that. I can't remember the exact number, but it was kind of eye-opening. Yeah, but to be detailed and answer your question specifically, nah, you can't run that. You can't run this starting lineup back. You can't. You gotta inject some sort of legit center. And it's crazy that DeAndre Jordan is the person that made you realize, like, yo, there was a play the other night where I don't remember who it was, man, but DeAndre Jordan ain't do shit. He just stood there with 7 foot, just got a rebound. Like, he was just 7 foot, bro. And it's like, as much as athletic as Eves is, as crafty as Queen is, you just can't teach 7 foot. There's nothing you could do to teach that. So yes, you need an actual center, and you need more shooting coming into the starting lineup.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I think that Sadiq's issues lately show you why this lineup is not a starting lineup.
Yeah.
It is like, I think whenever you look at, and I think people continue to remember what the Golden State lineup of death, how little it actually played on a night-to-night basis. Like, they played like 10 minutes a night because you can't sustain it. You can't keep rebounding. You can't keep defending. It is a shock and awe type thing that you do. We're going to go on a run. We're going to get active defensively, go create some points, and then you go back to playing the way you normally play. So, yeah, I think like Sadiq, those matchups can work, especially when you do it in small doses. But I think we're seeing now with Dejounte on the floor with him and Sadiq's shooting numbers, he's still getting the same number of shots, but those percentages are down because he's not going to get the same types of shots now. And I think and those matchups become different now because Herb is not at the 1 and that lineup shifts. So I think that's the part that ultimately against good teams, and we're going to see it over these next 8 games. We're going to see it. They had trouble against the Clippers, right? They had trouble against the Lakers. 2 teams that the Lakers don't even have great size, but DeAndre Ayton is a legitimate 7-foot big, and you had problems against him. The Clippers had active front court bigs, and you had problems against them. The Rockets didn't have their guys in there, but you still had some issues in the front court with Jabari Smith and those guys, in the front court. So, I think it's always going to be the question is their rebounding and their ability to keep people off the glass defensively.
Five, what do you think about the lineup? It does feel more like a lineup that you finish with. If you choose to, you just put in your best 5 players together. While it seems to be there's some level of chemistry with some of the players that are on there that that fit well together, but they will, and as they should, run into certain hurdles when it comes to rebounding, second chance points, things that we've always talked about with the Pelicans. But there also are some strengths in some of the ways that I think it's helping some of the advantages or the improvements of what we're seeing with the offense. So even if you don't believe that this is a starting lineup, is this something that you think the Pelican that a lineup that they can change games and win games consistently with?
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like there used to be this video game called Midnight Club. Anybody ever played it as a kid? Right? And you'll be in a race and you got an allotment of like NOS, right? Like the boost, right? And if you mess around and use it too early, you'll end up losing your race because Dub Edition for sure. That was the hardest one for sure. And you'll end up losing the race because you used it too early, or you'll end up losing the race because you used it too late. It's all about timing with this, right? Like this lineup is all about timing. Like you can't, you don't have an unlimited, you don't have an unlimited amount. So you got to be careful about when and which you do this and what opponent you do this against. Like, because it's not going to be the same time every time. I think that's what Golden State was really good at. They can time you correctly. You know what I mean? Like they know when you're reeling, oh, let's put this team to bed, right? Pause. So I think it can be beneficial, but just with reason and against the right opponent. But I do think you still need some kind of like consistent, starting lineup to set the table, and then being able to adjust off that.
Lito, you gave me there was a graphic that looked like pretty much highlighted the bench players. I believe Carlo, Eves. I don't think Fears is on there, but Queen was, DeAndre Jordan, Kevon Looney.
It's the bigs. That's all the centers.
It was the big, yeah. Okay, all right. But let's just say if we focus on the bench right now, just period. Earlier in the year, and I think some nights still, they've struggled trying to consistently get offense and good production off the bench. It's helped putting Queen and Fears there, that level of talent, depending on who they're playing. Carlo is still shooting the ball very well, and depending on which Eves Misa you get, you probably you could get a really good performance, or you look up and have 2 points, 3 rebounds, whatever case may be. But looking at this group right now, if we're talking about this team having voids that they still need assistance with, they still need to add shooting. We're talking about the need for a starting center. We don't know if that's currently on this roster or not. What the additions that they need to make, when you look at the bench right now, outside of Fears and Queen, like, who do you think should be penciled into a rotation next year, just strictly off of the bench?
Outside of Queen and Fears?
Mm-hmm.
Grace.
Oh, yeah. Man. I forgot about him. Yeah, I was about to say nobody. I'm glad you said that. I was about to say nobody.
That's the only one that can shoot. That's the only one that can shoot.
Yeah. So I mean, how? Because I want to say Carlo, right? But part of that is just tied to the fact that just of how little of, I guess, athleticism or shooting this team has. It's like I can't not have him at least accessible when I'm struggling to find anybody that can shoot the basketball. But beyond that, I mean, Yves will be going into his 3rd year. We know Hawkins is out. Micah Peavy, question mark. He's not playing right now. Kevon Looney's not playing right now. Jordan Poole. We saw DeAndre get some run. I mean, it's Lito. I mean, it sounds like you're minus the rookies. You're and Bryce. And Bryce sounded like a maybe. You think they need to completely rework that bench, that second unit.
Yeah, I mean, like, and this is not a diss to Carlo or Misi or anybody. I think situationally, like, they always deserve minutes, right? Like, the thing with Carlo has been shooting very well from the corner. It's just not a lot of volume to go off of it or for it. But then, it's not a lot of rebounding there. And unfortunately, it's not great defense. So if you're not giving me one thing to substitute for the other, you know what I'm saying? Like, you give it, it's moderate shooting because it's not a lot of it. It's, 4 rebounds, maybe 3 rebounds in 17 minutes. Like, you the most athletic player on the floor for the Pelicans most nights outside of Zion, and Misi. So, like, you gotta rebound the ball, dog. Because the thing with Carlo too, right, and the same for Misi, right? They both can run really well for how tall they are. So if you get a rebound, you kick it out and you run on the floor, like, you're already in a position where you have most bigs not running with them. So I don't know, man. Sometimes I don't think the Pelicans players see that, like, one part of the game is connected to the other part of the game. And it's kind of confusing.
That's why we always talk about basketball IQ with this team. And I think that's why ultimately, if you can move Sadiq to the bench,
mm-hmm.
and you fixed it like that, you're swapping out your big by doing that, right? So if you have a big Zion, again, a phenomenal 4, but he's not really a 4. Trey, And now if I can get Sadiq off, but also Herb, if I can move both of them to the bench now, let's say I do that. Or if I'm starting Herb, I have that equivalent who's playing 24 minutes, who's an all offensive Herb. You know what I'm saying? Like I got that counterbalance that I bring that I got a flamethrower and I got Herb to balance that out.
Mm-hmm.
If I got that and my bench now becomes Fears, a legitimate backup point guard, because you got to go out and get that veteran, who can handle the basketball. I still got McGowan's at the 3. I got Queen at the 4, and I go find another veteran center, or I have Misi there in that spot still. Now you start making the bench into a higher IQ group. Because if you have Herb and Sadiq on the bench, if that's how you have to do it next year, just for next year, while you're figuring this thing out, you have a legitimate bench. And you can still flex Herb between starting units and bench units. But you got to find that shooter and you got to find that big. But that's what we say every year with the Pelicans is those 2 spots. And I mean, that's their job. That's what Joe and Troy got to go do. But I think you can make the bench an asset. You can make the bench an asset.
Five similar question. In regards to the bench and the things that this team is going to have to improve, even when they're playing well right now. How many players do you see right now that you think are kind of above? I mean, you in a perfect world. I mean, nobody should be given minutes, right? But who's kind of earning their keep, or who has earned their keep going forward if this team makes the adjustments finally that they need to make with some of the roster and roster changes and fits archetypes? Muted.
Damn it. Sorry, Connor was in there singing and I didn't want y'all to hear it. Are you saying that like they figured out the starting lineup per se, like potentially? Because
I feel like if they continue to play competitive basketball and how thirsty it feels like everyone is for any level of consistency, I have a hard time believing that they'll look to change that given how they traditionally act, or they traditionally, now will they play it less? Maybe, but I don't know. We'll see.
Well, let's play like this then. I'll have Fears. I'll have Queen. I would like to have Herb in that lineup, like on the bench. And I would, if you told me I had to keep one, because I really don't want to keep both. Either it's Eves or it's Carlo, I'm keeping Carlo. I just think like the potential is better there. My issue truly is like between those 2 players, Eves and Carlo, like you guys need, like we need things around you for you to be good, when you need to be able to adjust yourself to be good around our already good players. We don't need to adjust for you. Like that's not how you make yourself like an asset. Like if I have to continue to help you and you're not even like the top guy, like no, you should be trying to figure out how to help them.
Right.
You don't screen well, you don't rebound well. I mean, like consistently, that I thought Eves, especially offensively, like he can offensive rebound well. But other than that, it's like you're like a one-trick pony. Like Lito talked about, Carlos shooting. Like, all right, great, but you only shoot like 2 times a game. That ain't winning me no games. That ain't truly helping me. What else can you do? Like, it's cool that, we've been waiting on, 7 years of Zion to try to elevate his game, right? To advance his game. But you, Carlo, Misi, like y'all, we don't got 7 years.
Mm-mm.
You need to be learning skills now. You need to be learning skills yesterday to figure out how you can be better for your teammates. So those 2 players in particular, like you got to move off one. You can't help everybody. And then you kind of round. I do like Bryce. And that would be a good change of pace right? Like having Herb to help the rookies, and then they'll be in their sophomore season, like especially like defensive wise. That way the pressure isn't on him because I know Fears and Queen, they're gonna want to shoot the ball. So it's not like truly a ton of pressure on Herb to make shots. Now he can hopefully just play his game and they can just get out and transition and run. Bryce get to the corner, and then you have Carlo that can pick and pop. Like I like lineups like that. You can be versatile in those as well. So that would be the lineup that I'd want.
Let's talk a little bit to Dejounte Murray, and then we'll get into some star questions. And
yo,
out of here, man.
Before you do that, I'm with 5. Like even in the sense of like ease, right? Like you heard, rumblings of his people not being necessarily happy of friend of the show, by the way, but his people not necessarily being happy of the contract situation or like whatever they wanted. But it's like, this at the time was let's say a under 15 win team. You should acquiesce yourself into whatever the team needs you to do in order for, like how I'm gonna pay you money when like I still don't know. Like I need somebody to come in and do the dirty work, son. I need shit. I need you to do things that are unsaid. I need you to do things that like I shouldn't even have to tell you to do. And I know that probably like don't sound like it makes sense, but like that's what winning basketball is. Like people getting on the floor. Yo, I don't know if y'all saw this play today because Bob mentioned screening, but man, Isaiah Hartenstein and what's my dog name from who Philly traded for the second rounders? McCain?
Yeah, Jared McCain.
Dog, they got this pick and roll going while Hartenstein really not even setting a pick. He literally is just getting the ball and bouncing it behind. He's bouncing the basketball or either throwing the basketball over his shoulder
blind
and just turning, just blind. Son, I'm like, dog, like it's so the game's so beautiful, right? It don't gotta be this robotic way of just setting a pick. You could make this shit a beautiful game. You can play into that. He's getting the assist on the same play. Dog, he creating so much gravity for McCain to shoot the basketball. McCain literally has to do nothing but catch the basketball. Like once he throws it, it essentially Hartenstein is taking 2 men out of the play. Dog, like I'm just like, why we can't have nice things?
And they just started playing.
That's what I'm saying. That's the thing that pissed me off. They don't even know each other yet. My bad.
That's why
bro.
DeAndre got minutes though. Right? Yep. Like when we talk about this all the time is like we see competency and doing the little things makes you valuable. It's just DeAndre can't do it for very long, and his lack of shooting, his lack of shooting there keeps him off the court. But his ability to like the setting screens is such a big part of this. That part alone in a team that requires motion and still struggles to get off-ball shots. Like we see that the Pelicans still really struggle. Like we see with the assist numbers on nights, it's a lot of one-on-one opportunities or having to work a little bit harder after the pass to get the shot because they are not getting clear screens. They are not getting downhill. And like even when you talk about, we probably talk about the Rockets thing, but in that late game situation, because guys can't set screens to either. Like that's why people aren't getting open in late game situations because guys can't set screens. And that again has been something that we've talked about for years with this franchise. So until you get high IQ players in some of these roles, particularly like you said in the league, when the front court now, you have to have those kinds of players who are going to do the dirty work with the level of bigs that we're seeing coming into the league on a night-to-night basis. It's just, again, like this is the part that's frustrating too, is like there are a lot of big players in this draft coming up, and the Pelicans have no chance at them in the first round.
Oh man.
Gonna be curious to see if they ultimately find a way to trade back into that first round, which I assume they will be or have been making calls. So that would be something to monitor. Let's but before I move to Dejounte, you guys have any thoughts on the end of the Houston game? Any part of it, whether it be the turnovers, whether it be the comeback, the miss foul call.
That's the only thing that I would point to. It's like, why didn't you challenge it? Like, who didn't tell James to challenge it? If y'all were able to see that, like, that's
You
the
challenge
only.
5 second. That's an unchallengeable call.
Oh,
Yeah,
so it's not
that's
that.
the
Okay.
problem.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't challenge 5 seconds.
So nothing that he could have done in that particular instance anyway. Hey, bro.
Man, my problem with it is my bad. 5 years done.
No, I'm done. Yeah.
The what's the report that comes out after the
2-minute report.
5-minute report.
I don't need you to tell me a foul should have been called. That's the most annoying shit ever. A foul should have been called here. No shit. Like, are you for real? I couldn't tell. I didn't even know. You know what I'm saying? That was a tough loss, man. But I mean, I don't know. Like, I know what you're saying about Zion inbound the basketball because he is a basketball player. What type of pass are you throwing right there? What?
Hey.
Like, what? Go ahead.
I just need the smoke to be for him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people were upset.
It's Dejounte.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that's him. Like, he did it. I was told when Zion got drafted, he was a good passer. That's what they said. No, I don't know. I don't think that to be true.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a pass he should have made. Like that. Like, we need to, direct the energy towards him for not making the correct pass.
Very simple pass.
You know what I mean?
Very simple pass.
Cass was upset at James. Like, why is he in that position making that pass?
And a lot of times, 5, we also got to remember that, when, the inbounder is typically, the most dangerous player on the court typically in those situations. Yes. How often do we see them get the basketball back? And maybe that could have been, if that was a part of the action or the plan in regards to whether him cutting off the catch, whatever it was going to be to get him an easy look or a paint touch. But neither here nor there. Not the first time we've seen an odd, a weird, ugly or Pelicans clutch loss, but just a weird fourth quarter. I think altogether, man. I mean, Rockets were up like 7 with 3 minutes left or something like that, and then in like 2 minutes they were down by like 4. And then a turnover happens. You get 5 seconds here, whatever the case may be. Rockets make couple tough shots. KD hits a jumper after Dejounte gets fouled, but they don't call it. And then Zion ends up throwing the ball away. Yeah. But Dejounte. So 7. What he's played. How many games here? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So like 8, roughly around 8 games now. He's averaging, I think, 25 and 5-ish. Turnovers are still there, roughly around 3 a game. But the rebounding for the most part has been there. I mean, he's on average, he's gonna, he's nights 6 minimum. You're seeing him some 8 rebound nights. The assists have been there. Grub. You also, when you're in your show, you talked about Dejounte and what you're seeing from him right now. I mean, first of all, given the fact that another guy coming off an Achilles injury and he's looking this well on the floor, better. He's looking better right now than he looked at any point in the handful of games last season. Like, this looks closer to the Atlanta guy that was playing that the Pelicans traded for. And it's just crazy him coming off that injury, playing this well this early. But what have you seen from him? And do you think it's overall sustainable? Is there a leadership element to this that you think can really kind of help this team going forward? But if we're just talking about the player, right, whether it be shooting, distributing the ball, him getting to the rim, what have you seen from Dejounte from that side? And I mean, do you think that he can continue it?
I mean, it's depending on his health, obviously. And I mean, I think now that we have the template for guys like Kevin Durant, who is still scoring a lot of buckets after coming off of his Achilles injury, and seeing what Dejounte can do. I mean, I think the biggest thing we're all like, could he be explosive? And he's been explosive, and that's been a part that I think you were most worried about. He hasn't shot the three great, but he's never been a great volume 3-point shooter. He's had a couple good nights, like the other night. Obviously, he shot it really, really well. But all the things you talk about, the only thing that's been out of whack is the turnover numbers, which are even higher than they were last year as far as on a 100% possession number. But everything else, like you said, he's putting up numbers that are competitive, if not better, than that 3-year peak between San Antonio and Atlanta. So it looks like it's repeatable. And ultimately, I think, like I said in the show, is that the Pelicans now have 3 options and they're all good with Dejounte. Because either you're going to get a great offer for something that you really want and somebody takes Dejounte off your hands, and that's great. If Dejounte is staying, you don't have a long-term commitment to a guy who is playing pretty well now at the age of 31, and you have fears that needs another year of seasoning anyway, so you're set there. And, I mean, I think the third option is if you do think that Dejounte, you could, if he can play another year like this, if you decide you have the potential to extend him. And what you're getting to me on court is you're getting the things out of Dejounte what you really wanted, and offensively, you're getting what you wanted out of peak Brandon Ingram type stuff. Because Dejounte is getting you to the line. He's killing people in the mid-range, right? Like we always, that BI, that's the area that he's best at, is in that mid-range. But the difference is he's getting to the line at a higher rate than he ever has in his career. And I think for him coming off the injury, that is the best indicator of where he is physically, that he's getting to the rack and getting to the free throw line.
5. If Dejounte continues to play this well, or if he gets better, do you think he's more valuable to the Pelicans or more valuable as an asset that goes and helps them fill other gaps that they're missing, shooting, for example?
The fact that he's playing well now, it truly depends on like what the trade is, right? Like potential trade is. Like that's the main thing. So you hold until you get an answer that's like, do you get like a potential, like a young star or something like that? I don't know if that's truly possible, but maybe. I think its value right now allows you to hold on to him a little bit longer. Like you don't have to rush into it yet. And then you're going to give him an off season to potentially get more healthy. Yeah, let's wait. Maybe a team that's in the draft and there's a player that you're locked in on. Potentially, like if you can get back into the top 15, potentially could make sense. But I think the fact that he's been playing this well allows you to wait a little bit longer than you probably anticipated.
Lito, what about you? Do you, if Dejounte continues to play the way he's playing right now, or he even improves his level, are you thinking about him more so and being a part of this core going forward? Like, is that where your mind is, or is it more so of, okay, considering where we were at the trade deadline, where we thought or even start the year, we thought he wouldn't be on the team. He would suit up a minute. His value's it's rebuilding itself right now more and more. And like Five mentioned and Grub, you have an opportunity for that to continue to rise as it goes along. What side of the coin are you on? Like core with this team right now, and for the short term, or let me see what I can possibly get for him on the market, like aggressively, not like just taking calls, you being the one to make the calls?
So my mind on it obviously changed with the way he's playing. Prior to him returning, it was obviously like try to move him, for the highest bidder or for what you could. Now I could see him. I'm gonna say this, like seeing him play just reminds you how badly they needed a lead guard. Like they needed a lead guard, like they needed a hole in the head, dog. Like it completely changed everything about the team. And we talk about the timing, the transitions, and like the pace being up over the last 7 games. Well, for a lot of that, you could point to him for his I guess you could call it a steadying hand offensively. Like you've seen where like they've been sporadic in certain situations, and it's they don't know what to do. Like Dejounte get the basketball, and if it's a bad play, he do a Steve Nash and run it back out to the perimeter. And it's like, all right, let's reset. It's the maturity as a guy who's like seen a lot of basketball. He's done a lot of things. Played for a great coach. Played with great players. I just heard Dejounte the other day tell a story about Kawhi Leonard telling him, "Don't worry about offense. Like if you want to play, just get on the floor. Like play defense. Get on that. That'll get you on the floor, and then you show everything else you can do. But if you can't play defense, they're not gonna play you." I don't think nobody in the Pelicans building has ever been told that. Like, I don't think they've had anybody to sit down and be like, let me rephrase that. I don't think any Pelican star player has sat down and told a younger player that. Right? Like, of course, coaches are telling you play defense, but I don't think Zion has ever sat down and told DQ, right? Bro, if you just play defense, if you just play defense, if you just do the little things, you're gonna see the floor. So for Dejounte to kind of have that, he had a whole nother experience in the organization. I kind of think, yeah, man, like fuck, if he want to be here, bro, yeah, like if you want to be here, if you see this as a home for yourself, by all means, yeah, bro, yes, you kind of. Fuck, man, it's looking like you kind of can't afford to lose them.
Okay. Well said, guys. Let's get to the super chat questions to get everybody out of here, man. Lito, start with you. Our guy, Bayou Sniper. Appreciate you, bro, as always. Dejounte, Trey, Sadiq Bey, and Queen works together. Go get Goga. Goga Batate, friend of the show. Lito.
Friend of the show. Chris, as much as I love Goga, I don't know if Goga's starting center in the NBA. Goga's having trouble outplaying, Mo, who missed all last year with a torn ACL. He's having a battle with Wendell Carter. It's tough, man, because the thing that Mo don't do is he can't. I mean, the thing that Goga don't do is he can't shoot the ball either.
Yeah, but he can defend the rim.
Can.
I mean, and I guess like, okay, he may not be a starting center in the league, but is he a starting center on the Pelicans?
But see the bar so low for that.
Hey, not my fault.
again, you could go out there and get 6 rebounds for the Pelicans. So yeah, I mean, shit, is he a starting center for the Pelicans? Yeah, okay, but so was like they gave Kevon Looney $8 million.
Shout out to Kevon, man. Get that money, man. Don't never listen. I love to get $8 million. It's just
do nothing. Show up.
Yeah.
Is it not? Hold on. Is it not weird that the 2 guys who came from Golden State, the guys who are supposed to have the championship experience,
are not playing?
Are the dudes who are nailed to the bench? Is that not the most Pelicans thing ever? That you went out and got these guys for their experience and their championship culture, and you can't get them off the bench.
Man.
Because that shit ain't real. This championship pedigree shit is not real.
You either a champion or you ain't as a player.
Right? Yeah, like dog. Yeah, you won a chip. Great. That you ain't LeBron. You don't guarantee nothing. Didn't Willie Green come from a championship culture? And
I've had a ring too.
What do you do? Not a damn like. We got to stop with this. And I've been guilty of it myself.
Yeah.
Until now, like if somebody's ever won a championship and they were coming to the Pelicans, don't mention that part. I don't give a fuck because it don't matter.
Say, hold on though, before you move on from that point too, because like, hold on, I seen Kevon Looney have like 320 rebound games in playoffs. Like I seen Kevon Looney. Like what is?
It's not like I'm not saying that they're bad players. But just because you put them on this team does not make this team championship caliber. It doesn't work like that.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. I like Kevon Looney. You know, Katie Light.
Katie Light. Come on, Fire. Talk about.
You know what I mean? But nah, bro. We gotta stop this.
Bro,
in the clock.
This from my guy Reed Hefner. What is there to figure out the starting lineup? We are healthy for the first time in years.
Those two things don't have nothing to do with each other. Those things are completely independent of one another. Like you still have problems, like we talked about. You can't shoot. You cannot shoot. Like, and that is a huge portion of the league now, of winning in this league, and you can't rebound. Like you are still a bad like those two things have not changed. For everything that Borrego has done to make this team better, they are still a poor defensive rebounding team, and they are still one of the worst shooting teams you have ever seen in your life. So that's why you're starting. If you are trying to build a starting lineup that is going to compete again with the teams that we're talking about, the best of the West. I ain't even worried about the East. Just to get out the West, if you are not suitable rolling this 5 out for 82 games.
Yeah. Well said.
Also, you got DeAndre Jordan starting. So
you did have DeAndre Jordan starting. You did. Old body 504. Man, listen. Y'all the most dedicated podcasters in history. Y'all deserve some kind of award. I really, really appreciate this.
Yeah.
Because what you don't know, old body 504, is that if I miss a couple of shows, I feel like I don't podcast anymore. I feel like I've retired. And some of these shows, even one tonight, nobody had energy. Nobody did coming into this. Everybody had Sunday or like Sunday in their spirit or Monday on their mind. Like it, so I appreciate it, man. Because if we don't do anything else, we show up. Can't speak for everybody else, but one you gonna get a combination of us, and we gonna be here. So this, like, I appreciate that, dog. I really do.
You know what?
I know what tomorrow is, right? Y'all know what tomorrow is?
316.
500 days under 500.
Wow.
Tomorrow is 500 days under 500 for the New Orleans Pelicans.
Yeah.
As I was just
the longest stretch in franchise history.
You know what? As Grubb so eloquently put that, I was just about to say, Baldy, I don't want an award. I just want a team to win. Just want some wins. You got to give me an award. Just like a couple playoff berths, you know what I'm saying? A first round win. That's it.
Grubb, they could have ended this streak by just winning one game at the beginning of the season. Right?
Yeah. So, yeah, they could have ended it right the first day of this season. Yeah. So they won't be eligible to try again till game 1 of next season.
Correct.
So, yeah.
Wow.
It's going all the way back to November 6th, 2024. They lost to the Orlando Magic, I believe, and went 3-4. And since then, I believe right now they are 30. I want to say 40 and 110 or something like that since then.
And yet we podcast after mostly every game.
Most of.
Yep, here we are. It's us, y'all. But body, I really appreciate that.
We're above 500. We're above 500.
We are. We 100%. We listen. We winning our division. I tell you that much.
Man, we like 90 percentile. At least 90.
Yeah.
Our net rating is.
David Weimer, 8244 for for 7 seasons, we see some great ball down the stretch from this team. I don't know about great, but we need to stop running it back, believing in Mickey Mouse March wins. 5.
I think that's a valid statement. I'm not gonna argue with you, but I'm not comparing it to last season. But because some wins are not equal. All wins are not equal, right? But what this team has shown me are some positives that I can take into next season. Because we were on this is the same podcast that told you that the 49 win team, that shit was not repeatable.
Man.
We told you. We told you last season, like, hey, you probably don't need to run this back. We told you. And I think for the first time, I'm not gonna speak for everybody, but it seems like we're saying at least give this group a chance next season. We really haven't done that, to be honest.
No,
we really haven't said that about most of these teams. So this is the first time we're actually saying it, David. But I'm not totally disagreeing with what you're saying right here, man.
Okay. Appreciate that comment here. Lito on here looking like Alvin from the Cosby Show.
Ain't that was Vanessa boyfriend or
No, that was the other one.
Sandra, huh? Yeah.
Sandra, yeah, the one that went to college. Got it.
Yeah.
Sandra was all right. It was all right. Sandra was all right. I'll take that.
She had made that shirt.
Mean?
Huh?
Wait, when you say she was all right, what you mean?
I mean, I'm saying, like,
what you saying?
That could be my ball. I'm not. It's cool.
Yeah. It's one of the ones you kind of throw up and then roll back to you.
Hey, make them take them. Make them take them. Come on.
This was a mistake. Okay, well, my bad.
Your fault.
It's me.
He knew what was gonna happen.
Yeah. All right, man. They need to have a real coaching search, which includes Borrego, and not just their buddies like Darvin Ham or Kevin Ollie. I 100% agree. I 100% agree.
Tell y'all this. Kevin Ollie step foot in this bitch, it's over for me, y'all. Y'all keep the pod. I'm straight.
What y'all like about wait. So we got all right. We on two different sides of the fence here because 5 said that about Darvin Ham, and you say this about Kevin Ollie.
Oh no. I'm like that about Kevin too.
Yeah.
Well, damn.
I mean that about both of them. I'm talking about both of them. Like I don't just mean Darvin. I mean Kevin. I mean that about Darvin too. If that shit, I'm good. I'm done. It's over. Don't worry about me.
If Kevin thinks just because he was on UConn's team when Kemba Walker hit that shot, he think I give a damn about that?
Dog.
He tripping. Nah, bruh. It's over. Calhoun ain't walking through that door no time soon.
Exactly. That's Jim Calhoun's team. He recruit. What's dog name who got drafted to Jeremy Lamb?
Yeah.
Jeremy Lamb ain't walking through that door.
They were freshmen on that team. Nah, dog.
Wait, dog, championship.
Sebastian Napier. Nah, it ain't happening.
Championship experience.
I'm good. I'm
all
good.
Right.
I'm good.
I'm about to put that shit on my board. Championship experience.
Oh man! All right, well, yo, that's enough here. Wait, what? Hold on. Hold on.
Say this, Chris.
One more comment.
Let me say this before we go, Chris.
Go ahead, Greg.
Like it can't. You talk about the question earlier was about the Mickey Mouse wins in March and stuff, and like last year, this is much different than last year. They went 3-13 their last 16 games last year. They ain't going 3-13 down the stretch this year. They're trying to win games. So like I go back to the original point we made at the beginning of the show, though. These next eight games, right? Dallas is a legitimate team. Like you have a player in Cooper Flag who's got better as the season has gone by. You tend to play close games against Dallas. That's a measuring stick. Y'all are both 22 wins. But then you play that road trip in particular, that East Coast road trip. When you talk about Detroit, New York, Toronto, like you go through that and Cleveland, if you do well during that, if they do well on the road in those 4 games, then I think we really got something to talk about.
Well, we will see here. It looks like the next game is tomorrow, Monday, in this city. So 7 o'clock, and then after that, I think you have a back-to-back. So yeah, so what? So this week is the homestand of sorts, back-to-back against the Clippers, and then we'll see where things go from there. But that's enough here for us, man. I appreciate everybody that pulled up, all 136 and counting to y'all, man. For myself, for Five, for Grub, for Lito. We will holler at y'all next time. Please like, comment, subscribe for all the different shows, everything that we got coming out. And yeah, man. See y'all tomorrow. Post game, as always, we'll see you.
Yeah.
Hey, you dropped your wallet. And this just in, attorney Scott Vickner was seen chasing an ambulance. Wow.
For real?
But that's David Vickner, not Scott.
I'm still confused.
Ambulance chaser?
Hey, you dropped your mom?
My wallet. Oh, thanks, Dave.